And we are live. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back to another After Pill live stream. I'm gonna let everybody roll up in here. Go ahead and put this poll in the chat. Will America last another 20 years? Yes or no? Come on in the chat. Come on in the chat. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you're new. Will America last another 20 years? Go ahead and start that poll right now. JC, what's going on? This is going to be an interesting live stream. This is something I've talked. This is something I've went into details about. Plenty of times. But yeah, man. But before we even jump into that, happy Mother's Day. To all the mothers. Happy Mother's Day to all the women who hate watch me. Shouts out to all the mothers who watch my channel, right? And they hate the shit that I be talking about. Shouts out to all the mothers who, can't accept the fact that, hey, baby, sometimes you age out of the game. Sometimes you age out of the game. It's okay. Some of y'all age gracefully, right? Some of y'all age gracefully. Shouts out to all the single mother raised ass ninjas out there. Shouts out to all the single mother raised ass ninjas out there, man. Shouts out to y'all. Shouts out to the shouts out to the single mammies. Blake Bradley said, "Blame the adult children." Listen. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it. Okay, so right now, will America last 20 years? The votes are polling in right now. Will America last another 20 years? Right? Majority is saying yes right now. Okay, now we got to equal. We got to equal almost, but we're gonna keep that poll up for the whole live stream and see where we end up. Right? But I believe the writing's on the wall. John, what's going on, John? John said America is finished. America's finished. Listen, man, there's a whole lot of psyops going on. There's a whole lot of, controlled demolition going on. Listen, you gotta call it how it is. We have to call it how it is. Many people can't see it because many people are distracted by pointless identifications and pointless ideologies that don't benefit them at all. But you can't save everybody. You can't save everybody. How's everybody doing today? Today is Sunday, right? So I know a lot of you ninjas are off work, right? Some of you ninjas are off work. I'll be going into work in a few hours. So I know a lot of you ninjas are off work. I hope you finding another way to make some money while you're off work because listen, man, you don't have time. You don't have time to be sitting on your thumbs, twiddling your fingers, ass ninjas. You don't have time to be twiddling your fingers. It's time to get to it, get to the money, right? On your off days. Yeah, we don't have off days around here. I don't preach any off days. You need to be in the gym. You need to be doing something. There's no such thing as off days, right? John says they with their mom today, tap. Listen, I don't care about none of that, Ninja. I don't care about none of that, right? If you broke, you don't have time for no Mother's Day, right? You got ninjas going into debt, right? You ninjas are going into debt trying to take your girl out. Ninja's crying right now. Ninja just paid off his credit card. Ninja just paid off his credit card trying to go eat at Ruth's Chris, right? Finna max the whole credit card out. Ninja behind on a car notes. Ninja behind on a mortgage, rent, right? Ninja still trying to catch back up from the last rent. Come on now. Ninja trying to catch up from the last rent. Ninja, people ain't got no money right now. You got 365. You got the whole 365 days to celebrate your mama, right? I don't believe in the whole little holiday things. When you talk about Mother's Day, when you talking about Father's Day, when you talk about freaking Christmas, Valentine's, and all of that stuff. I don't believe in all of these little holidays. That's just a whole capitalistic ideology to get you ninjas to get out here and spend money. That's all it is. You should be celebrating you should be celebrating your if that's the case, you should be celebrating your mom every day. You should be celebrating your dad every day, right? For you Christian ass ninjas, you should be celebrating Christ every day, right? Not just on a particular day, ninja. Not just on a particular day. Come in and hit that like button, man. We're about to get started. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. This is going to be an interesting topic because yeah, the writing is definitely on the wall. If you're not seeing it, then you're just blind. You're just absolutely blind. You're not paying attention. You're not seeing what's going on. You probably don't care about what's going on. I know a lot of dudes who quite frankly just don't care, right? And quite frankly, can't afford to, make a move in the first place. This is why I preach. This is why I preach, what I preach. This is why I preach to you to level up. This is why I preach to you guys uh, go ahead and get your passports. This is why I preach it. So you can get out here. So you can get out here and see how big and wide the world actually is. John says America ain't about God. It's about money. People are so blind. Yeah, America's always been about money, right? A lot of people like to say it was uh created under God, but bro, look around, ninja. Look around. Look at the history, ninja. Yeah, God my ass. Yeah, okay. God my ass. But anyway, listen, guys. America is a controlled demolition. Yep, I said it. America's under a controlled demolition. So there's a whole lot of psychological warfare going on. There's a whole lot of purposeful, division going on. And this has all been done on purpose, right? America's already been wiped clean of money these past few hundred years, right? You got to understand that the corporations who are in power, individuals, who have the bulk of the wealth. Listen, they don't cling on to racial politics. They don't cling on to actual politics, red versus blue. They don't cling on to any of these ideologies that, normies cling on to. They don't cling on to nationality, right? If you ask me, they're nationless, right? These trillion-dollar corporations, right? The faces behind them, these, quote unquote non-profit, entities, they're nationless, right? They don't care about red, blue, Pakistan versus India, Israel versus, Gaza. Like, they don't care about any of that. How much money can we make? This is all they care about. If blood has to be spilled for them to make money, that's what's going to happen, right? America's already been wiped clean, right? The culture is dead. The work ethic in America is dead. All of these things are dead. Declining birth rates, right? America's already falling under replacement level, bro. This stuff is already in action already, right? John says they use it to divide. Exactly. They use it to divide, and normies eat it all up. Normies can't tell from up, from down, left or right. Right? This is the whole reason why I don't talk to people, because most people are fucking dim-witted fools, right? They cling on to ideologies that, quite frankly, don't matter. It's not going to benefit them one way or another, right? It is what it is. But America's a controlled demolition, man. It's under a controlled demolition. And from my perspective, what I'm seeing, the writing on the wall, America don't have 20 years, right? America doesn't have 20 years, right? With the culture here, with the culture of, Gen Z especially, America don't have 20 years, right? I'll be surprised. I'll be quite shocked and surprised if America goes past the next 20 years, right? But political with the political environment, with the whole racial environment, people are not doing as well as they were, especially, well back in the day. Bro, it's over with. People can't afford homes, right? They're about to implement AI to a whole nother level, right? If you haven't been paying attention to technology news, blockchain news, crypto news, bro, the type of technology that they're about to implement is going to exacerbate a lot of things, right? Blake Bradley, degeneracy is accelerating it. Absolutely. Toronto Wave said, "Have you seen the IQ levels of younger Gen Z and Gen Alpha? America's doom, bro. It's in the gutter. It's in the gutter. IQ levels, are completely falling. And I'm gonna tell you this too. Despite because people get caught up. People get caught up in this whole, racial division too. Let me put it like this: if the blacks go down, the whites go down. The whites go down, the blacks go down. This is how this is going to happen, right? Both blacks and whites are going to be on the same sinking ship together. That's just how the cookie going to crumble. So they can continue. They can continue to eat that bullshit up all they want to. Everybody going to be on the same sinking ship, and they're going to be in the same waters, drowning, trying to gasp a fucking breath. That's just how the cookie going to crumble, right? So at the place that in the place that I am in now, I don't cling on to any kind of political affiliation. I don't cling on to racial politics. I don't cling on to any of this. I'm actually borderline trying to become nationless myself. And you got to understand the billionaires, the trillionaires, the corporations. They've already got all the money, all the scraps, all they can get out of America. They've gotten all the work they can get out of America. They can't make the same $1 billion they can in America anymore, right? And this is why you think BRICS is just on accident. What's going on, boy? Great day, everyone. Tap. I didn't get a notification. YouTube is messing up. Great, bro. YouTube is not sending out my notifications for my videos, for my live streams. None of that. I gotta see what's going on. They're not sending out my notification. We know why they're not sending out We know why they're not sending out notifications. We know why they're not sending out notifications. But yeah, YouTube don't want people to hear stuff like this, right? So they kind of, they censor me a little bit. They trying to shadow me a little bit, shadow ban me a little bit. It's all good. We still gonna get to the top regardless. We still gonna get to the top regardless. Toronto Wave says, I've seen Gen Z and Alpha fall for Indian scam calls like my grandma. Bro, idiots. Idiots. JC says, college or not, you gonna be in debt. Absolutely. Most of Americans are debt slaves anyway. We're debt slaves. The entire country operates on consumer debt, right? The whole country, in itself operates on debt itself, right? But here's the thing. My point. The money has already been scraped from America, right? The work ethic is not there. Americans are absolutely lazy. They don't want to work, don't want to think, right? The innovation period for America is long gone. We may not we more than likely won't see another Renaissance era in America at all. And also, what's going on behind closed doors is a lot of these companies, Google, Meta, any other big name you want to name, Coca-Cola, some of the biggest tech companies, some of the biggest corporations, they're looking at emerging markets, right? So, like I said, BRICS wasn't done, on accident. There's a lot of American corporations behind BRICS as well, right? They're pouring in. Listen, what you got to understand is money has no name, right? Money has no name. Money has no allegiance, right? Money is not allegiant. It shows no allegiance to United States. It shows no allegiance to China. It shows no allegiance to anybody. They show allegiance to themselves and that greenback. That's what they show allegiance to. So guess what? If the money is over here, that's where they're going. And if the money is over here, that's where they're going. Right? They're just how the cookie crumble. But what I'm starting to notice is the next booming markets is not in America. Said Gen Z is wow. Yep, the next booming markets is not in America. The next booming markets are. This is where the youngest. Moy, you took. See, Moy know what's going on. Moy know exactly what's going on. India booming. The next emerging markets are where some of the youngest populations are right now. What are some of the youngest populations are right now? So India being one of those markets, they're already moving. Bro, see, this people not paying attention because they're not going to put this stuff in the mainstream news. Meta is already building data centers through India, Africa, and Latin America, all through Southeast Asia. They're already doing this stuff already. They're already doing this stuff already. John says China is already ahead of us. China is 20, 30, 40, 50 years ahead of the United States, bro. There's no catching up. There's no catching up. I'm sorry. And I'm saying this as somebody who loves the principles of the United States, who loves the country, who wants to see the country succeed, but I'm not an idiot and I'm a realist as well, right? I have to call things how I see it. Mike Davis says 20 years, dog. You being generous. I'm saying 10 years. You right. Mike, listen. I am actually trying to be generous. Right? Me being an optimistic, I'm a true optimistic. So I gave 20 years, but in reality, my mind thinking like, nah, bro, I don't even think we have 20 years. Right? So Mike, you hit the nail on the head right there. Yeah, realistically, I don't think we have 20 years. Right? We don't have 20 years. Right? At all. With the declining birth rates, marriage plummeting, degeneracy at an all-time level. I mean, I'm seeing stupid, just absolute asinine shit. I'm like, bro, this is where we're going with this. This is where we're going. This is where we're going with this. I'm seeing crazy stuff, and I'm like, yeah, it's over. I'm like, yeah, it's over. Right? Moy says I already have scoped it out and it's very lovely living with 5 to 10 grand. You can start in India if you're smart. I would say, guys, if you're smart, I would say, bro, drop the identity. The type of world that we're moving into, globalization is here. I don't care what you say. We're not moving into some kind of nationalistic society, bro. That shit is done. Like the world is globalized. The world is interconnected. They're still going to roll out the AI. They're still going to roll out technology beyond your belief. They're still going to roll out the blockchain. Listen, the world is interconnected. So this whole, like I said, you being connected to, nationality, you being connected to, race per se, it's not going to matter as much in the future anymore. What they're going to do, they're going to combine everything, right? They're going to make it to where people have no identity in the first place. But that's a whole nother conversation, right? That's when we get into the NWO and all that shit. But that's a whole nother conversation. That's a whole nother conversation. But where the world is moving into now, the world is shifting. The world is shifting from America, right? It's not. you Jack Frost coming in dropping a bag on my head. Jack Frost, he come in here. Jack Frost got to be the federales, man. Jack Frost got to be the federales. He come in here, don't say nothing. He just watching the cut. This Negro is right. This ninja is right. But yeah, the world is moving away from America, right? It's all smoke and mirrors, right? And Trump is leading the front on that, right? So like I said, I'm not an anti Trumper or anything. Um, I do like some of the things that Trump is trying to do, but overall, Trump is following orders just like every other president that get in there. To ride a wave. I wonder if they'll start banning Americans from leaving. Somebody spoke on this. What's the guy name? I saved this video. I saved this video. Dang, was Austin Holloman? Austin Holloman. Go check out his channel. He's a big expat guy. He's a big expat guy. I have a video saved that I need to watch, but he has a video talking about how is about to get harder to become an expat, right? It's about to get harder to become an expat. They're going to make it harder because men. First of all, let's start with the passport bros, right? Passport bros is not a new phenomenon, right? Since the old days, since World War I, World War II, when the United States was at war, men have always traveled to other countries and stayed there, right? The Vietnam War. There's plenty of men who, after the Vietnam War, they went back to Vietnam to settle down. Japan. Where else? Where else over there? All through Southeast Asia, all through Europe, right? France, all of that. So the military guys in the United States were actually some of the original passport bros, right? But now we just have a term for it. But yeah, a lot of men, especially single men, hell, even married men as well. But now they're traveling overseas, trying to get a feel for different atmospheres, trying to date different women, country to country, experience new cultures, right? So men have already started that front. This has been happening for the past 10 years, right? Probably more than that, right? But for the past 10 to 15 years, men have been traveling to Vietnam, Southeast Asia, all through Europe, Latin America, trying to find a wife, trying to, whatever else, right? Having fun to deal with American or westernized women. This has been happening for the past 10, 15 years. And yes, the federales have taken notice. The federales have taken notice. Like, there seems to be an uptick in these ninjas traveling overseas, right? And there's plenty of expat YouTube channels, dudes, talking about their cost of living, them becoming, what you call that, working from home, remote workers, and the whole, just the whole thing. So yes, the federales are taking notice to this going on, and they're like, okay, you ninjas want to leave, you ninjas want to go to Brazil and start a family. Okay, we got something for y'all. We got something for y'all, right? We got something for you ninjas. You want to go to the DR and start a family? You want to go to Colombia and find a wife. Okay, we got something for you. Listen, the United States is not built for men to really succeed, right? They want your dollar, right? The court system, like, despite us making the progress that we have as far as women go, women can work, women can vote, women can own property, women can do whatever the hell they want to, quite frankly. And the court systems are still designed as if it's 1935. Make it make sense. The court system, the divorce courts, no fault divorce, the child custody courts still lean heavily 80, 90, 100% in women's favor. The court system in the United States have not caught up to where we already are in this country, right? It hasn't caught up. They still treat women can get both best of both worlds. They get best of both worlds. And a lot of men are like, bro, in this environment, why take the risk? Why take the risk? I can go here and get a more, a more cultural woman, a more submissive woman, a woman that's more family oriented, a woman that is, you know, whatever, right? They don't want you leaving. So check out Austin Holloman. He speaks on it. I need to go review that video myself to see what exactly he's talking about. But I have heard that it is about to become harder to become an expat and leave. Ninjas didn't already have the money in the first place, right? Moy says that's going to be me. I'm going to do travel videos with motorcycles. Yeah, I'm gonna be checking it out. I'm gonna be traveling with you, Moy. The apocalypse might be that men leave America and they won't stop us. Yeah. John says these women doing OnlyFans and they're treated like they can do no wrong. I read a statistic that said I think it's 20% of Gen Z does some kind of sex work. Yep, around 15 to 20% of Gen Z women do some kind of OnlyFans, some kind of sex work, some kind of something along those lines. Right? Yeah, the shit is done. And that's just accounted for. That's just accounted for. Let me repeat that. 15 to 20% of Gen Z women do some kind of sex work, OnlyFans, bartender, star tender, whatever you want to call it. They do something like that, right? And the JUCO is litty. The JUCO, I already told y'all about the little 17-year-old who tried to basically negotiate with me for some Roblox money, bro. I can't make this shit up, bro. To right away. Exactly. They throwing pussy for Roblox. Roblox money. I do, bro. Y'all would have to be in my shoes to see this shit, bro. Chicks are throwing pussy around to get the nails done for Roblox money, bro. Listen, it is, bro. I'm seeing this with my own two eyes, ninja. I'm seeing this stuff with my own two eyes. Chicks are out here propositioning. I am not lying. Jay, what's going on? What's good, After Pill? Hope all is well. What's going on? Look at what's happening to Bill Belichick, bro. Look at what's happening to Bill Belichick, bro. This man built a legacy. Bill Belichick built a legacy, and he's about to let this 20-year-old chick destroy. Come on, man. Y'all can't, bro. Bro, y'all need to get it together. MSK, I'm already preparing to leave America in the future. Yeah. One thing you got to do, don't just. I don't watch American news in the first place. It's both all sides and nothing but propaganda machines. Watch international news. Watch international news. International news, you can really see what's going on in from all perspectives, right? From different perspectives, not just what America is feeding you, right? Watch international news and see what's actually going on, right? I'm already seeing the writing on the wall. The emerging markets that these companies and corporations they are already stumping feet. By the time America catches on to what has happened, bro, it's gonna be way too late. It's gonna be way too late. Then they're gonna be like, "Whoa, the corporations that sold us out and all, bro." This has been happening for the past, bro. But America's like 25, 30 years too late. Like 25, 30 years too late. And you can tell when things get bad because that's when the infighting starts. That's when the infighting starts. Moy says boomers are the biggest simps. Bro, boomers sold the country out. Boomers are some of the biggest simps. Bro, I'm just now starting to realize a lot of this stuff myself. Boomers are some of the biggest simps. They sold the fucking country out. They milked the country for everything that they have. They sold us out to the credit industrial complex. They sold us out to the military industrial complex. They sold us out to the corporate industrial complex. I have no sympathy for boomers. F them. Donald Trump is a boomer. Yeah, I know he a boomer. I know he a boomer. But it's still the truth is the truth. The truth is still the truth. Then they handed us a effed up country and they still want to run it into the damn ground. Man, anyway. All the presidents have been boomers. Yeah, and look, and look where Moe. Look at where we are now. Look at where we are now. Better than most boomers, but still a boomer. Yeah. John said them old niggas gotta go. Man, it is too late, man. It is too late. It's too late. Who then? If the boomers don't run it, then who gonna run it? They retarded ass, doped up kids. Who's gonna run it? Who's gonna run it? Gen X just as bad. Who else gonna run it? Millennials? No. Gen Z? No. They limp wristed ass. MSK, imagine how high the cost of living will be in 10 years. John says Joe Biden's son. Joe Biden's son gonna be up there doped up. He just Joe Biden's son gonna be up there doped up. He just took 6 lines of cocaine. Ninja gonna be up there slurring his words. Ninja. I barely see Gen X outside. You know, you're right. I barely see Gen X outside. Do they exist? I don't know. Gen X somewhere hiding somewhere. I don't know. Gen X is probably somewhere living their best life. They somewhere. See, Gen X stuck in the middle. They like, well, it's over with. So Gen X are slick hippies too. I think Gen X was born or raised during the hippie movement. 60s, 70s. Yeah, I think that's Gen X, ain't it? Moore says, nah, we don't go outside. Gen X still talking about the 90s. Yep. Yep, that's what I was saying, boy. Gen X is like the middle child society, and we hate yeah. That sounds like Gen X. Alexis Williams said, man, at this point, the whole state of humanity is effed. Yeah, that could be possible, too. No, Gen X is 80s and 90s. Okay, my bad. Gen X is 80s and 90s. Okay, those were some good times, too. But Alexis Williams, that's a good point. Said, man, at this point, the whole state of humanity is effed. Yeah. We may get to that point, too. But as of right now, the West is definitely effed. Shouts out to 80s babies. Shouts out to the 80s babies. Well, I thought the 80s were like older millennials though. I may be mistaken. But okay. No, Gen X doesn't care. They don't care. They don't care. Yeah. They don't care. But yeah, they're like I was saying, yeah, I don't think America lasts another 20. There's a lot of infighting. There's a lot of divide and conquer tactics going on, bro. It's like, am I the only one that just can recognize what exactly is going on? Am I the only one? Because it seems like nobody else. It seems like nobody else has a brain. Am I the only one that can see? Am I the only one that read books? Am I the only one that can see exactly what's going on? Am I the only one that can see the elites playbook, play by play ninja? Am I the only one that can see this junk happening? It's like I can see them drop it from the sky above. I'm like, yeah, watch these ninjas eat this up. Watch them start fighting. Watch them start fighting, bro. This stuff is not a coincidence, bro. They drop these things and they prop it up in the media, right? They were like almost like red herrings or black swan events. It's like, bro, are y'all this dumb? Are y'all this dumb? Jay says, I'm right with you, After Pill. I read books and play chess. I love chess. Right? I love chess. But it's almost like they can't, it's almost like people can't see that they're pinning people against each other just so you don't pay attention to who's really making the moves. I'm just sitting back watching people. I'm like, bro, y'all can't be this damn stupid. People can't be this stupid. Can they? But I guess people are. I guess people are. They eat the food, right? They eat the food with poison. They eat all the artificial ingredients, mind torn up, body torn up, right? All they do is scroll through social media, brain all eaten up. So yeah, I do believe people are this retarded. What's going on, Lucas? Toronto Wave says I might move to Israel. Not gonna lie. Listen, move to where you need to. We just keep feeding the cycle, bro. It's a constant cycle, and humanity falls for it every single time. That's why I said, listen, listen, I lean more into the black pill, but I have no hope for you ninjas. John says American culture is fries and burgers. Exactly. And I was just, what's funny? I was just reading an article about health. And did you know, I forgot what it's called, but did you know that the more body fat, that a man has, especially around the stomach, the more body fat, I forgot the actual health term for it, but the body fat, when the body tries to break it down, it turns it into estrogen. I'm gonna do a video on this because I got to get all my terminology and everything together. But in particular with men, the more body fat, especially around the abdominal area that a man has, when the body tries to break that fat down, it turns it into estrogen, right? So the more body fat that a man has, the more estrogen that man produces, and it suppresses the testosterone. And I was reading that, and I'm like, well, this explains a lot. Yep, man boobs too. You can tell when a man body is producing more estrogen. Look at his abdominal area and look at his chest area, right? I ain't talking about a chest like mine. I ain't talking about a chest like mine. Now this is bulked up. This is nothing but muscle. You hear me, right? But when he has fat around the chest area and fat around the abdominal area, his body is producing more estrogen. And I'm looking like, well, this explains a whole lot. This explains a whole lot. These feminized ass men, right? These feminized ass, sissified ass, limp wristed ass men out here. This explains a lot, ninja. This explains a lot. That's why I tell guys, get in shape, man. Get into shape. Working out is a testosterone booster, right? Don't you want your testosterone to be high, ninja? Don't you want to feel like a man, ninja? Like ninjas out here fat, ninjas out here eating all this artificial junk, bro, and then wonder why the generations of men are more feminized. That explains a lot. Dudes are not working out, right? And it would explain why the boomers, in Gen X, they had there are studies that are showing that boomers in Gen X had more testosterone. They have more testosterone, or was it boomers? I think it was just boomers. But boomers have more testosterone than the rest of the generation. Alex, appreciate the super chat. Appreciate the super chat, buddy. But there are studies that are showing that boomers have more testosterone than the next generations. And in particular, boomers worked a lot of blue collar jobs, right? Boomers had to actually work. Now, I still give them their props for being, one of the hardest working, generations, right? But they actually had to get out here and do some work out here, right? Therefore creating, high testosterone, right? Those jobs are becoming, minimized now. Blue collar is not the bulk of the economy anymore. And quite frankly, a lot of guys, especially young guys, they're trying to venture away from blue collar jobs. They don't want to work that. They don't want to do manual work. They don't want to do it. And in part because society has demonized blue collar work. It is looked at as, oh, you didn't go to college. Oh, you must have a criminal record or something, or oh, you wasn't smart enough to get this job and that job, bro. I'm gonna tell you right now, as you can see, white collars getting wiped out. Look around, ninja. A lot of white collar jobs are definitely not going to be here, right? If blue collar jobs ever get eradicated, ninja, it'll be another 30, 40, maybe even 50 years before that happened, right? Blue collar is going to be around for a long time, and in fact, we're in a shortage right now. We're in a shortage because one, a lot of men and especially younger men, a lot of younger men are out of the workforce, right? There's a big portion of men, Gen Z men in particular, who are not in the workforce. So not working or working some kind of part-time job, but blue collar is actually in a shortage over the next few years. Blue collar pay, blue collar pay is going to see a crazy trajectory, right? So I'm talking about the electricians, I'm talking about the plumbers, I'm talking about actual skilled work, right? Tradesmen, a lot of the tradesmen, they're going to see a big bump, right? Because nobody wants to work the manual jobs. I'm already telling y'all the trajectory. So if you want to get into trades, you better get in now. Go ahead and go get some of the electrician training. Go get your plumbing license, whatever, HVAC license, because there's already a shortage of all of these tradesmen. Right? There's a shortage of electricians. There's a shortage of plumbers. There's a shortage of HVAC technicians. Right? And we know what shortages do. Right? We know what happens when there's shortages. Right? Then we can increase pay. We can increase the prices because now there's a shortage. Right? Moore says maybe it would be good if the Matrix falls and humanity collapses. Dang, boy, that's a. I don't know if that's a black pill. That's a death pill. John says 100K for a degree is crazy. Yeah, bro. I know people right now. Who are graduating college, and I'm talking about STEM degrees. STEM degrees who can't find a job to save their life. Working at Wally World. Ninja got a whole Ninja got a whole engineering degree. He at Wally World. I'm like, Ninja, golly, Ninja, tell me more, Ninja. Nobody hiring Ninja. Ninja can't get a job nowhere. Lucas said, guys, there's nothing wrong with a little estrogen. What he's saying is keep your eye out if you don't want to gain a lot of estrogen. Yeah, estrogen plays its part into just the physical of the body, your whole biology. That's not what I'm saying. However, Ninja, if you're a man and you're producing more estrogen, it disrupts, everything that makes you a man. It disrupts your neurons, your chemical development and all that stuff, right? So there's nothing wrong with estrogen. Estrogen actually plays a key role in your biology. But what I'm more so saying is that if you're being overweight and being feminized are direct correlations, Ninja. That's basically what I'm saying, for lack of a better word. Being overweight and being feminized and being like a bitch is directly correlated, right? Baby boomer says give the boss a firm handshake. Baby boomer says give the boss, fuck the boss, Ninja. But you know how many bosses I've tried to shake hands. I'm like, golly, bro, like weak ass handshake. And I'm talking about older people, like not boomers, but at least 30 years my senior. And I go to shake their hand, and I'm like, I'm scared to break their hand. I know I'm a strong ass, I know I'm a strong Negro and all that stuff. But when I go to shake their hand, I'm like, bro, dang, you can squeeze a little tighter. Dang, what happened to handshakes? What happened to handshakes? What happened to handshakes? Ninjas don't even shake hands properly no more. I'm every time I shake somebody's hand, I gotta show them, hey, no, come back, ninja, come back. Especially the younger, limp wristed ass ninjas, especially Gen Z ass. I'm telling, bro, come back here, man. Shake squeeze my hand, ninja. Like when you go and shake hands, you wanna let a man know that you're a man. Like, yeah, you wanna look him in his eyes, shake his hand, like, yeah, I slap you, ninja. That's how it's supposed to go, right? That's how it's supposed to go. When you go and shake hands, that's the test of man right there. That's a test of man right there, right? He's supposed to look you in your eyes, and y'all supposed to connect eyes. In his mind, he's supposed to say, "Ninja, I'll slap you, ninja. I'll slap you." And when you look him in his eyes, when you shaking his hand, you're like, "I'll slap you too, ninja." All right, that's good, that's good. That's how that's supposed to be. But ninjas, when they go to shake hands, they are already submitting. Oh, like, dang, what you got? Ninja, I don't roll that way, ninja. You might want to back up a little bit, ninja. You got to look him up and down like ninja limp. And this is why I call they ass limp wristed. I'm like limp wristed ass ninjas. Torada wave. Oh my god. Oh my god. I didn't want to do this. I didn't want to do this. Oh my god. Torada, you are right. You are right. I lie to you not. As of recent, and when I say as of recent, I'm talking about this past year. I can't make this up. I have came across more women with firm handshakes than men. I'm sorry. I have legitly came across more women with firm handshakes than men. I swear to God. And I'm like, I've actually had to pull. I've actually sat and talked to them after the handshake. Like I've gave them props because I was just so I was bamboozled. And I was like, and this was multiple occasions. I remember one in particular. She shook my hand. I'm like, this is impressive. Like I was legitly impressed. I'm like, who taught you how to shake hands like this? You need to teach some of these dudes how to shake hands. I'm talking to her. I'm like that. Like I was legitly impressed. I'm like, that was an impressive handshake. That was an impressive handshake. Like that was good. Every time I see you now, I want to shake your hand because I can't get that same like firmness when I go and shake dudes' hands. I'm like, dang, the tide has definitely turned. MSK says women are the new men, bro. Listen. I made this video. I made a video 2 years ago. I think it was around 2 years ago. I said the same exact thing. I have a whole video 2 years ago. I said women are the new men are the new women. I've been saying this for years at this point. John says burgers and fries pandemic. That's why they're trying to do the whole turnaround with Kennedy. With Kennedy, he's trying to turn stuff around health wise, and trying to get America on track, bro. We are 50 years in the gutter. If America ever does get on the right path, bro, it'll take another 50 to 100 years, man. Right? You have to inject these ninjas with some kind of chip or something to get ninjas back on the right path. Right? Moy says tap females want the raw, truthful, honest man. Yep. If you're a raw, aka a hole, you will win as a man in today's time. Yep. They want ruthlessness. They want you to be ruthless, right? And I'm all for it. Some of you ninjas need to be wiped out. You soy boy ass ninjas. Been feeding us soy and plastic since the 90s. Yep. But this is not something that you can just turn around overnight in 4 years. Hell, 8 years. It's not something that you're going to be able to turn around overnight. You're not just going to be able to reverse, consumerism. Our whole economy is built on consumerism. Our whole economy is built on debt. Our whole economy is built on consumer debt. How all of a sudden we're going to just switcheroo? It's not going to happen, right? And people don't really even understand how the tariffs even work anyway. How it really doesn't make sense because America is not really a big producer, right? America's not a big producer, right? It's donezo, right? What is really going to do is going to strengthen ties in other regions, right? So other regions, they're going to strengthen ties with each other. Other up and coming markets, emerging markets, they're just going to strengthen ties with each other. And because you got to understand, the world has been under American dominance for decades, hundreds of years. You can say Western dominance. We can talk about colonialism. We can talk about all of those things. The world has been under the thumb of the West for since before many people in here have been born. So now that other areas now they have the technology, they have the funding, they're trying to gain their own 2 feet. Nobody wants to be under American dominance anymore, and quite frankly, nobody wants this culture, because America also, the only thing that really America produces is like of like big substance is culture and technology, right? But besides that, nobody wants the culture, and they can come up with their own technology, right? It's not happening. So people want to get from up under American dominance, Western dominance, and they want to be their own man, right? This is when that little boy who grows up, right, and he see the big gangster on the block. He said, I want to grow up and be like him, right? He grew up seeing the gangster. He getting all the women. He getting all the money. Right. He driving the nice cars. The little boy said, you know what? I'm gonna grow up and be like him. Then one day that little boy grows up. Right. And now he has to challenge that gangster. He has to challenge that gangster because the gangster he's been the head honcho. For the longest. He's been the head honcho for the longest. He's been the big boss for the longest. Right. So now that little boy, he's a grown man now, right? He's young. He's young, full of testosterone, full of new thoughts, right? Full of new ideas. And guess what he say? We got to take him out. We got to take him out. Uncle Earl, even our cars suck compared to foreign. Listen, I didn't say it. I didn't say it, Ninja. John said that's the black community. What? Which part? Toronto Wave said, I wonder what they'll do to men in jail. I see slave labor coming back. Yeah, that could be possibly coming back. That could be possibly coming back. Moy says, even us Americans want to be liberals from the New World Order, corporate slave masters. Yeah, but like there's not going to be a way to fully get away from it. There's going to be because there's always going to be somebody in power. There's always gonna be somebody in power in power. So it's not something that you can fully get away from it. It's not something that you can fully get away from. But as far as survival goes, and really, just getting ahead of the curve, right? You might want to look into other markets, right? And there's a mass exodus going on that a lot of people are not talking about either. And this is what I was just talking about with the passport bros, expats. More than ever, there's more Americans leaving America to venture out into other areas of the world. I think it's record breaking numbers. I'm gonna have to look at the stats again, right? I'm gonna have to look at the stats again. But more Americans are expats now more than ever. Because a lot of people see the writing on the wall. Some people who just choose to stay here, they've seen the writing on the wall a long time ago, but they just choose to, like, hey, I'm just live and die here. That'll be it, Ninja. Ninja say, hey, we self-implode, Ninja. I'm going up with the flame. Some people actually think like that. Like, I'm just gonna go up with the flame. Uncle Earl says, will the dollar collapse in our lifetime? I don't know about collapse. See, when I really say America's going to self-implode, America's not going to be the America that we know today, right? So I don't know about a whole dollar collapse, but I don't foresee the dollar being the 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 the, the dominating dollar, right? I don't see that happening in the future, especially with technology, blockchain, crypto, because that will become a big player in the next 5 to 10 years, right? That will be a big player, but I don't see a total collapse. Um, and to be quite frank, I don't even know because we may move away from fiat currency, right? We may move away from fiat, but it's kind of a toss. It's kind of a toss up. I have to really really study a little bit more, see what it's really looking like. Um, but we definitely will move away from fiat, but we'll see. We'll see. MSK says countries are moving their reserves to gold and Bitcoin. It's already collapsed. Yeah, you can say that too. You can say that, and you could even go as far as saying that Trump is probably trying to save the dollar from collapsing. right? And that's the reason why he's making the moves that he's making, because he's probably trying to save the dollar from collapsing, save the country from collapsing, quite frankly. But like I said, this is a controlled demolition, man. This is a controlled demolition. I mean, there's people above Trump, right? There's people above Trump, right? And I don't even like how we're sucking up to Israel, right? It's always somebody that's in our pockets, right? We're sucking up to Israel. Before that, we were sucking up to Ukraine. I mean, the game never ends, right? We're in Israel's pockets, or Israel's in our pockets, right? They're making moves. They're calling the shots, right? I think it's ridiculous, to be honest with you. It's ridiculous. United States is owned, right? A lot of people don't want to admit this. The United States is owned. There's other entities that own this country, right? They own the people, they own the minds of Americans, they own the debt, right? Bro, America doesn't even belong to America. America doesn't even belong to America, right? Just follow the fucking money. But, listen, I don't I don't go too deep just for YouTube purposes. I don't go too deep just for YouTube purposes, but I can really go deep down a rabbit hole. I just choose not to. Kanye says, Yale Yitler, yeah, wild. I mean, the song is quite catchy, to be honest. I was listening to it the other day. I was like, this is quite catchy, Ninja. Just don't blast it out loud, Ninja. You might get 30 bullets in your car. Don't do that, Ninja. Don't do that. Don't do that. MSK, United States is a corporation. America is a corporation. Just living here is to pay. Yeah. That's why people come here. People come here not because America is just a better way of living. Now, it's better than most places, definitely. Especially when you talk about third world countries, war torn, countries. Yeah, this is definitely better than being in, a place where they're dropping bombs on your head. Absolutely. But a lot of people come here, and they send money home, right? I know this Nigerian guy. I knew this Nigerian guy that I used to work with, and he told me straight up, I just came to America. I just came to America to work, get paid a lot more here, versus back home. And I'm talking about, he bought like, I think 5 acres of land, 10 acres of land, 5 to 10 acres of land, built a big ass, almost like it will be considered a mini mansion in the United States, right? In a mini mansion in the United States. But it was equivalent. I think it was equivalent to like basically 100,000 USD. It was equivalent to like 100,000 USD. He bought the land, had the house built and everything. But in American terms, that house would be worth like 1.5 million. If that same house and the land was in America, it would be worth like 1.5 million, 2 million, right? But he saved his money for like, a few years or whatever, sent the money back home, and he was showing me pictures like of the progress of them building a home, and the land that he purchased it on and all that stuff, and the just the materials that he was building it on. $100,000. And like I said, if you seen it, you would be like, bro, there's no way 100,000. The house and the land combined, definitely 1.5 to $2 million easily in the United States, right? And a lot of people do this. A lot of people do this, right? Kanye, y'all, everybody tripping on Kanye. Everybody tripping on Kanye. That's funny. I mean, Kanye has definitely lost his mind, but what he's I don't know what he's trying to do, honestly. We clearly know who he hates, right? We clearly know who Kanye hates. Definitely, we know who he hates. But you got to listen to the lyrics a little bit. You will see, I guess why he's doing what he's doing. I guess I don't know, but he definitely don't care for the who's. He definitely don't care for the who's, right? I mean, after they froze bank accounts and took his money, took his deals away, tried to bankrupt him and all that stuff. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, Kanye. Has Kanye lost his mind? Probably so, but I don't know, man. But he's also, I mean, it's quite frankly funny because you got loser incels running around here trying to be Yaxies and stuff like that. Want to be Yale Yitlers and Yaxies. So, you know, just throwing it out there in the mainstream, turning it into like some kind of song. I mean, I guess it's hilarious. I don't know. I don't know. Somebody asked me a question. It's always a marketing stunt. There's always something behind it. Somebody asked me something. So what's the Devin says, so what's the move? How can we prep our families? Okay. How can we prep our families? That's a good question. So first and foremost, like, are you head of household? Right? What kind of money are you making? That's important. How do you want to prep? Right? How do you want to prep? Have you been looking at other countries? This is why I'm gonna take the channel, right? This is why I'm going to take the channel. Don't get mad at me for grifting. We still going to talk about women and all of this stuff. But I think I want to take I think I want to take the channel somewhere else. But I think I want to grow a little bit more, right? So I'm gonna definitely start. What I'm doing is, like I said, the after pill is going worldwide. The after pill is going worldwide. We're gonna start traveling a little bit, exploring these things, exploring different environments over the next 20 years, Ninja. Maybe 10, Ninja. So get your affairs in order, Ninja. But we're gonna start traveling a little bit and seeing what's going on everywhere else as far as business goes, as far as their economies goes. What's it looking like for Americans to invest in these certain countries, because the opportunities are there. The opportunities are there. And if you get in early, because right now it is early. These are emerging markets, and Americans are already doing it. Americans are already doing it. I know a few guys now who are building country. I mean, not building countries, building houses in other countries right now. And they're also investing into real estate, apartment complexes, and things like that. That they're building overseas and stuff like that. So the opportunities are definitely there. But to answer your question, Dev, it depends on what you're exactly talking about as far as prepping, right? What are you looking to do? How much money do you make? Like, where do you want to go? Have you looked into other countries? Have you looked into dual citizenship? Do you want to denounce your U.S. citizenship? Do you like? It depends on what you're trying to do. It depends on what you're trying to do. Moy says the small hats gaslit and do tons of evil and then want the whole world to shut up about it. Yeah, listen, it is what it is, man. America's sucking up to him. America's sucking up to him. Turn up the video speed. Learn how to forage for wild edibles. If nothing else, it reduces your grocery bill. Yeah, there's only so much you can reduce your grocery bill. I mean, are we talking about, because then who are you talking about exactly? Single guys? If you're a single guy and you're struggling to pay for groceries, bro, shame on you. Shame on you. Like, you're a whole single guy and you're struggling to do, like, where do you work, Ninja? Like, are you working at Wally World, Ninja? I was looking at this. I was looking at this girl pay stub, right? I was just being nosy, right? I was being nosy, and I just so happened to look at this girl pay stub, and I don't remember if I saw how many hours she had on her thing on her pay stub, but I just looked over. I looked over and just did a little glance. I was just being nosy, man, because like it's weekly pay. I looked at her pay stub, and I seen $145 net pay. I was like, what the? I was like, what the? And I'm guaranteed, and I'm sure she worked all week. I don't know if she's, bro. I don't know if she's part time or what. I looked at her shit and I seen $145. I'm like, yeah, you have to still stay at your parents' house because ain't no freaking way. Ain't no freaking way. I'm like, there's no way. That is gas money, Ninja. Gas money, let alone a grocery bill. Ninja, I'm paying over $200 just for groceries for my household, Ninja. Please, 100, girl, you better work. I seen $145. I'm like, ain't no way. I know some of you ninjas, you Wally World working as ninja, Kroger working as ninjas. Yeah, that's how y'all paychecks looking too. $145. Ninja getting paid minimum wage. I'm like, bro, come on, bro. Dudes have given up on life. Moore says, damn, 145 is just a motorcycle part for me or my light bill. Bro, my light bill more than 145, Ninja. I'm looking at damn near two something, 175, 180 for my light bill. I seen that shit and I was like, yeah, you need a daddy. Yeah, you need a daddy, and I'm not talking about your biological daddy. Yeah, you need a daddy, girl. Scott the man said she's probably in trouble and get her wages garnishment. I doubt it. Oh, you talking about the student loans and shit? Yeah, I don't know. John says sugar daddy time. It's getting crazy out here. I just prefer food that doesn't have a ton of chemicals in it. I go organic for the most part. For the most part, a lot of the stuff that I have, it's organic. Try to eat all natural stuff, organic stuff, right? Tap, how many of these chicks you think would make it if they were no simps? Uh, None of them, right? And it depends. Like we gotta really redefine this word simp because then it depends on what you define as simp. What do you really define as simp? Like because if a guy is willing to say, hey, here you go, here's a little something, give me them cheeks later on. Like if he got it, he got it. Like I don't define a man that can take care of a woman at will really a simp. Right now, when we start getting into simp territory is when you're doing something for nothing. Oh, you saying help from men in general. Okay, none of them, none of them, none of them. If we're talking about help from daddy, their biological daddy, nope, they wouldn't survive. If we talking about daddy, right? Like me and Moy, daddy, zaddy, they wouldn't, right? They wouldn't. I come across a lot of begging chicks. I come across a lot of begging chicks. A lot of them. Let's end this poll. Will America last another 20 years? Here we go, folks. Here we go, folks. So will America last another 20? 63% says yes, and 36% says no. 36% says no. Why do you guys think this is? We got a lot of hopeful people. That's good. That's good. That there's a lot of hopeful people. That's good that there's a lot of hopeful people. But these are the same normies that I wouldn't take advice from anyway. So Corny says Gen Z will let the system burn just to feel it's warm. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Does anybody in here have Gen Z children or actually talk to Gen Z? They really do not care. If you've ever talked to them, Gen Z really do not care. They do not care at all, right? In most cases, I wouldn't give them a dime. I give them a little something. I give them a little something. Scott the man said, "What's the average wage in here?" Just curious. I don't know. What is the average wage in here? I don't know everybody's. Monies, right? I've told guys. I've already told guys where I'm sitting at, right, and where I want to be. right? Yeah, my outlook is to be healthy if you're eating Roundup ready crops. I don't know. Moy says I give them a little something because they give me a little something. But yeah, man. But as y'all can see, man, as y'all can see, this is where we're sitting at. Will America last another 20 years? See, I'm not really concerned about everybody else is thinking. I'm more so concerned about what I'm looking at. I'm more so concerned about the facts. I'm more so concerned about the statistics, right? I'm looking at the well-being of the country. I'm looking at the mental stability of the country. I'm also looking at the divisiveness. I'm looking at the infighting. I'm looking at the writing on the wall. Nothing has gotten better even in the past 20 years. Things have been on the up and up. We've seen things get worse political when we start talking about the true tried and true American dream. Nobody's being able to attain that. We're seeing the rise in homelessness. We're seeing the rise in lack of work ethic. We're seeing the rise of lack of innovation. Where I'm paying attention to the emerging markets and seeing where these corporations that y'all worship so much, right? American corporations, seeing where they're going. I'm seeing that they're leaving here and going to other places because they've already scraped America. They have already scraped America for what it used to have already, right? They've already made billions and trillions of dollars. So guess what? Guess what's next? We're talking about in the next over the next 50 years, we're going to start seeing multi trillionaires over the next 50 years, and probably sooner, because with technological advancements and all that stuff, it's going to speed it up a little bit more. But now where we're going to see more and more, we're going to see multi trillionaires and whatever else the number is above a trillionaire, right? Because now they're going to place themselves into markets where nobody has touched any they have not touched, right? India is an untapped market. Africa is an untapped market. Much of Latin America, untapped market. The dominance has remained in the West for the last few hundred years. So if you still think that America is going to be the dominant player over the next 20 years, God bless you, Ninja. God bless you. But the writing's on the wall to me. But anyway, shouts out to everybody. Shouts out to Moy. Shouts out to all the members. If you want to become a part of my private chat, my private signal chat, click the link in the description. It's $10. You got to cash at me with the username of your signal username to get in, to be accepted in it. If you don't want to do that, you can also become a member and support the channel. Shouts out to all the super chats. Shouts out to Jack Frost, the Federales. Right? Jay says, "Are you live tomorrow?" Yeah, I'll be live tomorrow too. I'll be live in the evening time tomorrow. India and Pakistan is currently, why is Trump intervening? There's a whole playbook to that. Doomer Viking, there's a whole playbook to that. India and Pakistan, there's a whole playbook to that. Right? It's deeper. It's deeper than the surface, man. Y'all gotta understand. This stuff is deeper. This stuff is deeper than what y'all just seeing on the surface. Right? This stuff is deeper. Got the man said crime is the biggest problem. All these young idiots needs to chill. Crime is not the biggest problem. America's still one of the safest countries to be at. To be honest with you, crime is not versus when we start talking about comparatively to decades. When you talk about the 90s, talk about the 80s, when you talk about the 70s, even the 60s, no, today doesn't even compare to where America used to be. So crime, yeah, it has upticks and depends on what cities and depending on a lot of things. Yeah, sure, but it's not as much as the media try to propagate. India and Pakistan, it has something to do with bricks. I think it has something to do with bricks. It has something to do with bricks. JC says greed the problem with America. Listen, greed has been the problem in America, and greed will be the downfall of America. $500 fine, drugs, crime, and social decay are all to blame. That's where we're headed because as more people get laid off, as Gen Z has absolutely nothing to do, as younger men, they lean more into incel ideologies, right? Not really being productive, getting caught up into destructive stream of thought. Yeah, we're gonna start seeing a lot more. I've already said this. I said as long as I've been YouTube, I've been saying this for a long time. I've been saying this for a long time. right? If you go and watch some of my videos from 2 years ago, I've been saying this for a long time. I've said this way before Trump got into office. I've been saying this, right? I've been seeing the writing on the wall. Trust me, I'm not going to miss, right? So for those of you who still think that America's going to be the dominant player in the next 20 years, God help you, because listen, I'm on the money. I promise you, I am on the money. I've been saying this. I said the incel. I said 2 years ago. I said the incel ideologies is going to become a problem. And lo and behold, where are we now? Lo and behold, where are we now? Incel ideologies have completely taken off. Men, Gen Z men, a good portion of them are not working, not in the workforce, not doing anything, not going to school, not being productive, right? We're seeing social decay, right? People are not talking to each other. We're seeing marriages plummeting. We're seeing the struggle in dating. We're seeing the birth rates declining. Bro, I've been saying this for the past 2 years, ninja. I've been saying, I said the writing is on the wall. I've been saying this already. I've been saying it. So God help you, ninjas, man. But anyway, go here and eat some breakfast, eat a late breakfast. I got to go to work later on. I'll see you guys in the next live stream, in the next video. Peace.